Good day, everybody. This is Jamal Miranda speaking from billionmilestoneforexgroup, senior trader. We're going to be looking at GBPUSD and Eurusd for a weekly analysis. These are the two pairs we're going to be looking at. So remember, Forex is a game of, well, rather the probabilities rather than the obvious. So I'm going to be just showing you a couple of examples in what I see. So just basically by opening up from the weekly chart, what I'm seeing, GBPUSD make its lowest low, and its lowest low was made at this point, right? But before that, this was its lowest low. So I was looking at, okay, if this was the lowest low, taken out by this candle over here, and we're trading back into it, probably on the daily chart, we see a movement going back up, right? Okay, so I'll be hoping price would come back into this particular range, guys. This particular range to get to that high. I'm just going to delete that just now. Get this corrected and much thicker. So I'll be looking at price trading into that level. So I'd want them to continue rising to this level, and from that level, we're gonna anticipate a reversal pattern. And reversal patterns are the informations, are your informations, all right? Alpha Batman, harmonics at this point, etc. So we're in a bearish trend, right? We're in a bearish trend. So this is why I'm marking out a probability that it's gonna get to the zone and drop. All right. So looking at this zone over here, I also have some resistance happening in that area. So I'm looking at a couple of touches in this zone. If it gets up, I'm looking at them use as a manipulation to hit the stops at this point here and then drop out. Okay. So that's my probability number one for GBPUSD on the weekly chart, and I'm gonna drop into my daily charts because that's the time frame we want to trade from, right? So we jump into the daily chart. A couple of things that we need to look at this point, all right? So we seeing there's a block over here that was broken, a new selling point that was broken, and we're looking at it breaking through last week's high. It went out to the low and broke through last week's high. So we're seeing maybe a move that will come back into this range. We just change the color for this. Looking at yellow. I'll be looking at price to come back into this range, all right, and give us a W formation, okay? So rather than me just setting out things like this, let me just make it fast and easier for everybody, all right? So at this point, I'm looking at them coming back and setting up a W and reversing back into this particular zone we talked about, all right? So from this zone, we'll be looking at an information and then drop back, all right? So that's what we expect, right? That's the probability. So dropping into the H4 time frame to the H4 time frame, we're gonna be looking at, we see a rise, we see a clear shift rise, right? So we're gonna be looking at, okay, if they do drop down, they're gonna drop down until this point over here, into this block over here. This will be our buying block. If we're gonna go up, we're gonna call that the buying block, all right? So I'll be seeing the market to open, hopefully it opens, drops into the same zone, gives us a W formation and rise until it gets to this point, reverse, all right? These are just my anticipations, guys, all right? If price doesn't do that, right, and decides at this point to create a high looking at this previous resistance over here, right, it will come in and it's going to come in and hold price at that point, right? And at that point, they will sell off, right, to continue the bearish trend and then come back into the zone, all right, and then continue going down. So this is another probability that you should be expecting, anticipating, right? Remember, when you're watching the markets, your duty is to react to what the dealer gives you or the liquidity providers. So these are just a couple of analysis that I have on GBPUSD. So we're going into Euro USD now, right? So I'm looking at Euro USD. Its lowest point was at this point, right? Its lowest point is at this point. And I'm looking at, could say this could be a block, a buying block, or this could be our new buying block. And we see price did retest this, came retested and went back up, right? So we're looking at the daily charts to see what happened. On our daily chart, I would be anticipating price to come in and stop at this point and sell off. This is just, remember, this is just an analysis for people to see and react to what the market gives them. So I'll be looking at them coming into this point, right, and sell off. If they do so happen to break this point, remember, if they do so happen to break this point, we'll be looking at, the market to continue going up, give us a W formation in here, and then go up, all right? And I'll be looking at them taking out this high first, this first high. So for swing traders, that means we're going to be holding our trade to this point. Okay, this is where our TPB, if we take the trade in here, all right? So going back into our H4 charts, just look at the analysis on the H4 chart too. We're going to be moving on to H4. In H4, we see for 2 weeks it was in the bearish market, and for this whole past week we just exited. It's been a bullish trend. So I was looking at, okay, well, if they broke this particular candle over here and you see a lovely retest in here into this zone, this could be a buying zone, right? So a broke retest into this buying zone, that was beautiful. Okay, I'll be looking at the market to continue. If it doesn't reverse at this point, I'll be looking at them continue going up, right? Like I was saying. So and then I would like price to come back into zone 1.1 thousand, right? Into this particular block over here. This could be a buying block going up, right? So at this point, I'll be waiting for slight retracement back in, give us a W formation and rise back up. But if they don't do it, right, let's say they don't do this, right, remember our duty is to react to what they give us. So I'm looking at this whole block over here again to be the point whereby we're going to be looking and anticipating for a couple of sells, right? So we could get an information in here and then drop into the zone, break it, retest it, and continue selling. So for the safety traders, like if you're trying to take a safe trade, you'd rather wait for them to break the zone and come back for retest over here, right? So that's my Euro USD analysis for the week and my anticipations and what I'm going to be expecting. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and your duty is to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the videos and invite more friends to it so they can benefit from my weekly analysis point. All right, so good day, everybody, and happy trading week. Thank you.